Are you a physical collector or someone interested in NFTs? Stay tuned for why you should not overlook this innovative technology. What's up, WAGME fam? This is Crypto Addict and I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about physical collectors versus VeVe. Before we start, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy these type of videos. So today's discussion, we're going to talk about the physical collectors and we're going to talk about VeVe. So physical collectors are finding it very hard to support the NFT trend, and they have their reasons for it. I found many arguments about why NFTs will never work, and I felt it was time to address a lot of these concerns. Hopefully this perspective will help many understand this new technology or even get them started into this rabbit hole of Web3. So starting off, we need to understand what is an NFT. Everyone hears the term NFT and that they're the future, yet that doesn't really explain anything to anyone. So NFTs, what does it mean? Well, to break it down better, what is fungible? By a simple Google search, we found that these are goods that are able to replace or be replaced by an identical item. So my beautifully lit keyboard is fungible. I can buy the exact same one in the store and replace my current one. I can buy multiples and have one for home, one for my office, or I can even hang one on the wall if I feel like it. Yeah, I can buy as many as I want and I can do whatever I want with it. If it breaks, I can replace it. It's fungible or replaceable. So when we come into the term non-fungible, it's just the opposite. It's unique. You cannot replace it. I may have 5 of the same keyboard, but this particular one that I have, I may not want to trade it for anything because it has personal value to me. I've had this keyboard for, let's say, 15 years, and it's the original keyboard I used to send AOL messages to my wife, so it has value to me. That is a random example, by the way. That makes this keyboard non-fungible to me because to me it's a one of one and it holds a value to me. The Mona Lisa is non-fungible. A comic signed by Stan Lee is non-fungible. These cannot be replaced. Now, the part of the acronym token, what is a token? To understand this, you'll kind of need to understand what the blockchain is. The blockchain is the most important part of NFTs because this is what verifies that non-fungible asset that you have. So similar to having an accountant that calculates and verifies all transactions for your business, a blockchain such as Ethereum uses proof of work to verify all transactions on the internet, which we'll get into. This ensures that there is no fraud transactions and everything is verified. The token is a tradable asset or utility that exists on the blockchain. That means your non-replaceable asset is verified and confirmed on the blockchain as something that is owned by you. Now, we hear a lot that NFTs are scams, and to make it really quick, for the most part, yes they are. 99% of projects are money grabs or projects you're left holding the bag of. There's no demand for it, so you're not gonna be able to sell it. Now, how am I trying to convince you that NFTs are the futures and a good thing, yet we just said that they're a scam? Well, we are all early adopters to the space, and this technology leads to many bad players. The utility uses are really unknown, and early projects are trying to find the best way to use this technology in their projects. So you have projects where holders are becoming like part of a DAO, or some of these, they're receiving payouts with crypto tokens or some fractionalized assets from other projects. Or you have like the simple profile picture projects or PFPs that have communities with like popular celebrities that are throwing like exclusive parties. And these are kind of incentives to have you want to purchase these NFTs and add it to your collection. You have projects that innovate and projects that kind of just copy and use the same buzzwords to grow their community. But in the end, they end up failing due to, no innovation. Without the proper research, you can easily get scammed or be stuck with one of these projects bag, just giving the entire concept of NFTs a bad image. So we all know it only takes one bad apple, and I mean, if you're stuck with that one bad apple, you kind of have a sour feeling towards the entire idea of NFTs. So I've made some cautions for us early adopters to help us not get scammed and really enjoy this technology. So the point of this is so that we do not feel that all NFT projects are going to be scams. First, and the most cliche, is DYOR, or do your own research. This term is used almost religiously now in the NFT space. It's like, hey, check out this awesome project, but DYOR, NFA. So anyone can shill or advertise a ton of projects and put DYOR at the end of it, just to validate in case they're wrong. It's like, oh, well, I told you to do your own research. Well, how does that actually help anyone? I could post 10 new NFT projects on my channel and be like, hey, check out these new projects. I think they're going to explode, but be sure to DYOR. Like, that doesn't help anybody, because in the end, you're just throwing out random projects and hoping everyone does their own research. And maybe 1 out of 10 is going to be a hit. And when one of them do hit, you're going to make another video and be like, hey, if you watched my past video and you bought into this NFT project, you're now up double your initial investment. And that's why I don't make those kind of videos on this channel. But you can actually get around that by actually doing your own research. So nothing is ever easy or handed to you. People don't become millionaires easily. It's a grind and it's a lot of work, and primarily in this industry, it's a lot of research. So the fact that you're watching this video means that you're already doing this. You need to be curious. Ask yourself questions that you would ask an expert in the field. The difference is you're actually gonna have to find that answer yourself. So whether you're able to get in contact with someone that can assist you, reach out to someone, maybe they can help answer your questions, or Google's your friend. Use it. There are many great YouTube channels that provide a ton of information. Watch them. The more you know about a project, the more comfortable you're going to be buying into that project, and a better understanding of the risk involved, giving you a much better perspective of maybe like a worst case scenario if that were to happen. And now we look into the team. The team involved is literally the foundation of the project. On the internet, anyone can act as anyone and have an online persona. Any project can say that we have a successful group of people that have worked in many large industries. They would rather keep their identities unknown for now. But in the end of the day, like, you never really know unless they actually are doxxed. So even if they are doxxed, you also need to be aware that anyone can create fake identities and credentials to make it seem like the team is an actual doxed team, not expecting you to actually research each individual person that they're mentioning. So you have a lot on the line here, and you need to not only find a project that is doxed, but also research each person. So if I were to put on that there is a project, like our project is created by Elon Musk, right? If you go to Elon Musk's Twitter and he says nothing about the project, no mention of it, doesn't seem to have any ties to it, why are you now comfortable investing into this project that is created by Elon when Elon himself on his actual verified Twitter has not mentioned it at all? Like, how do you know this person is really Elon? So please research the team to ensure that they are who they say they are, and that they have a positive track record if they are who they say they are. So I think that's very important, along with hype and artificial hype, fake followers, paid promotions, social engagements. Like, these are things that you need to look into. So hype is something you have to understand, because this is happening very often in the NFT space. There are many ways projects can attract new users through this artificial hype. Any company that needs to do this to promote their project, to me, is already lacking faith in their project. And if they need that to grow, it means that they don't have faith that what their project actually has enough to offer for it to grow organically on its own. Things to watch out for is stuff like fake followers, paid promotions, or social engagements. So when you jump in a project's Discord, are they running like these invite contests, or are they requiring you to level up in order to get on their whitelist? Because these engagements really symbolize a lot of fake people coming into the Discord, or fake conversations. These contents are used to develop this artificial hype towards a project from people that just want to get on the whitelist. So when people see people talking, or people see a lot of invites going out and people talking about a certain project, it builds up this fake hype when really they're just doing these steps to get on a whitelist. Also be aware that celebrities can get hired to post about projects on their social media page. Look out for projects paying for these gigs or leveraging celebrity endorsements. People getting into projects blindly from celebs are the ones primarily getting scammed. Research their tweet or post to see if they really are involved, or if there really is any type of official partnership between a celebrity and a project you're into. And based off of that, if it's something that you feel like is worth a look at or your investment. Also, pay attention to the project's social engagement. If they announce something on Discord with 200,000 members, yet they only get 200 reactions, those followers are probably fake or they're bot accounts. So the same applies to Twitter. If you have 50K followers on Twitter and only 10 likes on a tweet, make sure the numbers kind of add up, because if it's not adding up, more than likely they're fake or paid for. NFTs being a scam are not the fault of the NFT technology, but the fault of the user not doing their due diligence and understanding what they're getting into. So without you guys exercising these cautions, and if you get scammed for not doing so, it's not the NFT and the concept of NFTs that you are to blame for this. Be aware that it is due to you not putting in the work to actually research what you're putting your money into. That is very crucial, and that is how you can avoid running into scams or losing money in this space. Now, I want to get to my point on VeVe and why they are actually different, since we have a better understanding of what NFTs are and why there are this nasty image of the concept of NFTs like kind of going around. Let's talk about why physical collectors should really take a closer look at the VeVe app. And so, looking at this, what is VeVe? Well, VeVe is currently a mobile platform for premium licensed digital collectibles, and it's available on the App Store or Google Play. And it's where users can buy these digital collectibles or comics as NFTs and use them in their virtual showroom or in AR. The app also has like a social feed where you can actually share your collectibles or photos from the AR, or even creations that you make in the showroom. You can post it on this feed and you can have some social engagement like likes or comments as well. It's, to me, a really fun app, and I personally enjoy taking my collectibles and placing them in AR. But I mean, why do these actually have any value, and why are so many investors even getting into this app? Well, to me, you see VeVe has obtained like these license from a lot of giant brands and are releasing the first ever NFT versions of these huge IPs. So you have like DC and Marvel and Disney, Star Wars, Cartoon Network, Tokidoki, and Jurassic Park, just to name a few. With NFTs becoming more and more mainstream, collectors like to have the first of these collectibles, and having like the first Disney or the first Marvel NFT, like that's a big deal to a lot of collectors, because the first of anything typically holds value. So with VeVe releasing a lot of these first on the blockchain, many investors find value in these collectibles and plan to maybe purchase these and flip them down the line. So yes, this is going to attract a lot of investors. But let's clear up a lot of confusion regarding this. First, is VeVe a scam? And like we looked through in the past slide, what we kind of explained what to look for in regards to a scam. The short answer to this is no, VeVe is not a scam. As we research the project, you begin to notice that the team is extremely solid and have been in like the toys and collectibles space for years. The platform was developed by collectors with collectors in mind, so this is actually a good thing for physical collectors. Looking into the team, you find that the project is founded by David Yu and Dan Crotters, and the head of global licensing is Al Khan. Without going into much detail about each person, because we can go on all day about this, a few Google searches about each person, you can find their history around like Nintendo, or their history in Pokemon, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and many more. They have a track record and a history of success, which gives this product a very solid foundation. So from that, we look into the hype around VeVe. Well, VeVe has not spent a lot of money generating ads or pushing their product to the masses. VeVe has actually spent a lot of time trying to slow down the growth of the app, which is like the exact opposite of what every other project is trying to do. Every other project is pushing their project and trying to get users into their project, while VeVe's over here like, we're getting way too many people in the app and we need to slow it down, which is the exact opposite. So the demand and the number of users jumping into the app is way beyond what they expected. They actually plan to have around 60K users by the end of 2021, yet they closed the year at like 1.5 million active monthly users. And currently they're sitting at above 2.1 million monthly active users. Like, that type of growth is absurd. And they were able to scale their product to meet the increased demand from 60K to 1.5 mil. So all of this growth is organic, and the hype is all organic. Like, they are not pushing any of this through any type of major marketing campaigns. But I mean, for companies like Disney and USPS and Marvel to now post their support with the VeVe platform, it tells you a lot. Like, they're posting on their social media platforms like, hey, check out our NFTs on this VeVe app. Like, that shows a lot, and that is a lot of trust. So in my opinion, there's no amount of DYOR that you can do or that can be made that is more than what these major brands and their lawyers have already done. This is just added comfort that the platform itself is not a scam. So understanding that they're not a scam and what they actually do, now we get a little more into the juicy stuff and the arguments that are kind of brought up by users that are kind of anti-NFTs or anti-VeVe. Let's start off with digital comics. They already exist. Like, look at Comixology. You can buy these comics for way cheaper. So yeah, this is very true. You can purchase digital comics and such online today. Now, I think the confusion here is the technology backing it. Referring back to when we used the term NFT as a non-fungible token and we explained it as a non-replaceable token. Well, these VeVe comics are unique in that each one is assigned a certain edition number, and of course, you know, it's a certain amount of releases. So along with it being scarce and being numbered with a certain edition number, that in itself already makes it unique and is a rare trait. Now, this edition number, this is actually the order in which they were actually minted on the blockchain. So edition number 100 means that it was the 100th edition that was minted. And people will find value in this. Collectors will find value in this because wanting a lower edition number means that you have one of the earlier editions that was minted on the platform. So based off of this, based off of like a digital comic that is actually fungible or replaceable on Comixology, this makes this a little more special, a little more scarce and unique because of the edition and because of the limited releases. Along with this, we cannot forget that we have the token aspect of it. These comics are minted / created on the blockchain, which is like a universal database that verifies that you actually own this comic edition number 100. Whoopee, right? Well, I can show you my Amazon account and prove that I own a digital comic as well from my Amazon account. This is kind of like the same response that someone that would take a screenshot of a photo or taking a picture of something and claiming that they own it too. Yeah, funny, right? Well, they forget that you can't take a screenshot or photo of the metadata on the blockchain. These NFTs are more than just images. They are smart contracts with utility uses to them. They are minted and verified on the blockchain, and they cannot be duped or replaced. So let's use an example here. Let's say your mom purchased a brand new Lamborghini because your mom loves fast cars, right? So you go over and you take pictures of her car and you in front of it and you post it on social media. You're like, hey, check out my new ride. Something like that is easy to fake, just as you would when you take a photo or a screenshot of an NFT. You can easily claim that it's yours, but is that car technically under your name? And can you drive it to work every day without your mom's permission or without insurance? No, because at the end of the day, it is not your car. The blockchain would have confirmed this instantly. It would have been like, you would have been like posting this as, hey, this is my car. Blockchain would have been like, nope, that's fake. And there's no way around it. You know, you can't you can't fake it. Yes, you took a picture of my comic, but you can't read it from the picture. You can't put it in AR. You won't be able to put it in your vault or, you know, rent it in the metaverse. So yeah, the blockchain will eliminate fakes from real, and that technology is just revolutionary. You know, that prevents someone like Logan Paul from getting scammed over 3 mil on purchasing fake Pokemon cards. You know, as much as we would like to think that these validation methods that we have are secure, nothing will be able to validate authenticity from fakes like the blockchain. So that comic that you purchased on Comixology, you can show me that you own a digital copy of it, but it will lack the utility uses since it is not minted on the blockchain. So as the world moves towards being digital, compatibility on the blockchain is what will drive the demand beyond what we can actually fathom. Your limited comic that was purchased on VeVe is now compatible in the metaverse, so it can be read in the metaverse. You can rent it, you can sell it, you can buy it, you can hang it on your wall, you can do whatever you please with it. You know, you are one of however many editions was released for that comic that will ever exist of that comic. What you purchased on Comixology, however, will not be able to give you that same digital experience because it was not on the blockchain and there's no metadata to it. So this is why minting these digital assets on the blockchain actually carries more weight over these digital copies on Comixology or whatnot. Your own assets carry weight and are verified instantly on just about every social network on the internet, and that's going to give it much more value, which is why people are paying premium prices for these now versus paying higher prices for them later. But why would anyone care about the digital world over real life? Because the digital world is all fake, right? This metaverse thing, it's just a bubble, you can say. So to explain this, we must understand the evolution of technology and how it's being adapted in everyday life. As more children are growing up, they are raised with a smartphone and they're raised with a tablet in their hands. They are playing games where they can earn like tokens, and they use those tokens to buy digital assets like skins, or they're taking, you know, mom and dad's card and they're buying credits to purchase skins or upgrades to their characters. So why are people spending money to buy these digital, you know, assets to put on their avatars, and they don't even actually own these digital assets? Like, that's when it's going to change, because NFTs are pretty much assets that you own versus what you currently are buying now and you don't own. So as a child growing up now, this generation, this is natural to them, you know? So I'll start off with the social aspect of it. So me in general, I was always a quiet person in real life, and it was always hard for me to just go out and, you know, start a conversation and make friends that way. So when you're on the internet and you're free to be you and express yourself how you want, it's much easier for you to meet people and to find people that share that same interest. The audience online is also much larger, and it's much easier to show off your assets because this is not restricted to your local area. This is people around the world, you know. People aren't actually going to judge you based on what you own and are drawn to that. So if you pull up to, let's say, a bar in a Ferrari, people are instantly intrigued by you, and you know, they're going to wonder things like, I wonder how much that car cost, or, you know, what does that guy do for a living? And it's going to strike conversations. People will come up to you and ask you questions and start socializing with you. So given this is actually just on a small scale. This is just you pulling up to like a bar, you know, and that's only however many people are actually at that bar. So social media kind of took this to the next level when we started having the ability to post these photos on your social media feed, and you can use hashtags like hashtag Ferrari, and soon you'll be getting people following you and interested in interacting with your photo because of your car. And you actually reach a wider audience because now you're opening up what you own in the physical world to pretty much the world, the world on the internet. And that audience is much larger than the audience you originally had in the bar. So think of that and think of the reach that you have just by posting a photo, which doesn't necessarily confirm that you are the owner of that, Ferrari. Another thing is, if you've ever played like an MMO or any type of game where you understand the amount of people that you can reach just for having like some of the top gear in the game. People will follow you, people will talk to you, people will want to be your friend, and they'll look up to you just based off of what you own digitally. Being a top 10 player in gear score, people will want to know like how you achieved it, and they'll conversate and be like, how'd you do this? How'd you get this quest done? Or can you come do this raid with me and help me beat this boss? Like, they're going to talk to you and want to know more about you and get to know you just based off of you walking around with a high gear score or some fancy outfit or gear. Another example is Fortnite. Fortnite's popular with young kids nowadays, so if you are an original Fortnite player and have like a season 1 skin, that gives you like an OG status. So just by having that puts you into like a social special company where people actually just want to befriend you just because of these digital assets that you own. They don't have to know you personally or anything. It's just they see that you own this and they're like, oh, that's cool, like I want that too, like how did you get that or whatnot, and it starts conversation. So this whole social aspect that is going to be open on the internet and open to the world, that's going to be normal for this generation. They're going to be used to purchasing these digital assets and talking online. So that is how technology is kind of changing society and trending towards the digital space. Right now, everything they're buying is not owned by them. So if the game shuts down, so does everything they own. Let's use Immutable X as an example for this one. This platform has a trading card game called Gods Unchained. The game gives you complete ownership of your in-game items and you can sell them in the open market. Immutable X. Now, imagine this with the Pokemon trading card game. If the Pokemon trading card game online shut down, you would lose everything in it. However, if they minted all of their assets on the blockchain just like Gods Unchained, these assets are owned by you. So you actually own these cards in NFT format. So in whatever case that the game actually goes offline and shuts down, you still actually own the cards because they are stored on the blockchain and are assigned to you. And you can still do whatever you want with this NFT. So even if you have someone that does not play the Pokemon trading card game online, just someone that's just collecting cards of their favorite characters, you can sell this card online and they may actually just buy it for whatever price it is, not because they want to play the game, but because they want to collect it. That's the same idea with the physical cards. Like, I never played the online trading card game or just the trading card game in general. I bought the cards just because I wanted to collect them. I was just collecting cards. I wasn't playing the game. The same will apply in the digital space. People are going to buy it to collect it, not necessarily just because they want to play the game. There's different ways and different marketplaces for people that want to just collect these items versus actually using them in the game, and allowing you to trade these on open market. This will mean that this product is available just kind of for everyone. So what can you do with these? Well, we're very early in. So as the blockchain is more adapted and you can expect social pages or any online page allowing you to kind of link or showcase your digital assets, think of Facebook or Meta now. They may have like a profile page where you can add all of your NFTs that you own into maybe their digital showroom. So your comics or these Pokemon trading cards that you got, you can store them in an area of your virtual room And so if anyone goes to like your Facebook or Meta page and they click on your profile, they can look and see all of the digital NFTs that you actually own, which actually tells a lot about a person, you know? Another thing you can look at is maybe you're using a dating site such as Tinder. So think of like your Tinder profile where you could have your digital assets stored in your profile. It can also tie to like other users that have common interests based off of what you own. So if you have digital ownerships of a lot of these comics, that may attract someone that is interested in, you know, Marvel or DC, because they're like, oh, he has a lot of these digital comics. I like people that are into, you know, superheroes or whatnot. So yeah, none of this can be faked. None of this can be something that you can be like, oh, I'm really into this, but not have anything to prove that you are, because all of this stuff is verified on the blockchain. There's no reason for someone to just go and buy a bunch of comic books to act like they're a fan of comics just so they can find, you know, someone that has the same interests as comics and try to pair with them. Like, there's no reason for you to fake that. And, you know, the blockchain doesn't allow you to do it. So that is going to, like I said, really change a lot of things, not just gaming or collecting or anything like that. The entire social aspect of this is going to be very different. With VeVe NFTs, they plan to actually release their own metaverse, and it's going to be called the VeVeverse. So within the VeVeverse, you may decide to own like a comic shop. Your goal may be to have every single comic that is currently on the app. This in itself can provide demand for the comic. You're not going to be the only one that wants to own every comic and, you know, possibly rent out your comics or collectibles to other users at some point. So this essentially is demand for like a metaverse business where you're renting out these comics or collectibles to users that may not have got in as early as you did and can no longer afford it. So yeah, this will be starting businesses and or whatnot in this digital space, believe it or not. So these comics can be shown in as well, like your home, link to your social profile. If you own like a Marvel comic one, this could put you in like exclusive company where there could be a community that plans to meet up, maybe do like events for holders of the comic. Utility uses like they can be anything. It doesn't have to be offered just from VeVe. These utility uses can be offered from, you know, anybody, the community. And you can't fake it. You can't act like you have one without like proving that you actually have it. You know, you can go around and maybe in the future comic stores will offer you discounts of like 10% off anything you purchase if you own a Marvel comic one. So yeah, utility uses can be coming, and it doesn't have to be offered strictly through VeVe or anyone. It can be community based as well. All right, so with all of the money that can be made from NFTs, this leads me to a debate that, well, only investors are on the app and there's not really any real collectors, right? Though this is a great opportunity for many to make generational wealth, these are not the only people on the app. Even if you started off as an investor, you may have somehow turned into a collector. Now, being closed-minded to think or to this idea means that you're going to end up buying from an investor. But I mean, is that their fault? No. They did the research. They put in their faith into this app early, and, you know, they can reap the benefits from, you know, doing their own research. Someone that is close to the idea of the platform without, you know, doing their research is missing out on the potential of it, and, you know, the potential of the technology, which will continue to upset them when they found out that, you know, what they could have got at 500 but weren't open to at the time is now only going on sale for 50,000, and, you know, they can no longer get it. But like I said, that's not the fault of the investor, because the investor did their own research and got in early. That is the fault of you for not, you know, being open-minded and doing the research and looking into this. Because Yeah, it's not that easy. It's not as easy as, oh, they just did this and they got lucky, they got in early. They did the research, they put in the work, and they invested early into it, seeing the potential of it ahead of time. So yeah, don't be that person that's closed-minded and is gonna miss out. And let's use like the partner statue for an example here, because I want to talk about supply. There are 4,333 editions released of the golden partner statue that was on VeVe. And these originally sold for $333, and it instantly hit the market and went up to $2,000. So now, let's say right now, yeah, they're going for about 40,000. So playing a scenario out, there are users that originally got it that never plan to sell this collectible and plan to keep it forever and pass it on for generations, give it to their kids. These are the collectors. So out of this, however many users that purchase it, let's say that 1,000 of them decide to never sell it again, right? You now only have about 3,333 that are actually in circulation, because those people are actually needing the funds in some way, like maybe there's an emergency that they need to sell it to have money to either pay for debt, or something may have happened, maybe they need surgery. You never know. Or these were investors that had a price that, hey, if it reached a certain price, then I'm willing to sell it. So at that case, let's say after a month, now the price is up to 5,000, and someone that bought it for 300 bucks, 5,000 bucks sounds like a good selling point, and they'll be like, okay, cool, I'll sell my partner statue for 5,000 bucks, because they had no intention of collecting the product. Knowing that, you now have someone that is purchasing this for 5,000 bucks, and they're not willing to sell it until it hits like 20,000 bucks. But at the same time, there's people that are buying it for 5,000 bucks that are new to the app, and they're like, I don't plan on ever selling this. I plan on keeping this for my grandkids or whatnot. So in that case, let's say you have another 1,000 that plans on keeping it forever, which takes a total of 2,000 out of supply. And you have other people that have higher price points that they're willing to sell for. So now you only have 2,333 in total circulation. And this process is just going to continue. And as the platform grows and more users come into the app, there's going to be more users coming in that plan on purchasing it to keep it. They're not planning on flipping it at a certain price. And eventually you're going to run into a point where no one wants to sell the collectible. And this has already taken place on certain projects like CryptoPunks. And CryptoPunks was a 10K profile picture project. You can't take your CryptoPunk and put it in AR or do anything like that. These are profile pictures. That is different from VeVe because you actually already have utility uses. This partner statue, it came with a year of Disney Plus, and you're able to put in like AR and show it off or whatnot. So yeah, these actually have uses and it makes it a little different. But at the same time, these CryptoPunks with 10K editions, they do not have any for sale. If you look at the screenshot, the floor price is kind of blanked out because there's not anything listed on the floor. That means the only way that you can purchase this is if you're able to convince someone that has a CryptoPunk to sell it to you. You'd have to put in like a bid. So let's say you bid $1 million for a CryptoPunk. Well, you know what? The person that has that punk may not want to sell it to you. And if he doesn't want to sell it to you, your $1 million is worthless to him. So it could get to that point to where these collectibles are no longer on the market. And the only way you can get them is to find someone that owns it. And if you find someone that owns it, the only way is you can convince them to sell it to you for however much you're willing to spend. And that's really going to be up to them if they actually want to sell it. So yeah, imagine the same effect with CryptoPunks with those giant IPs, to where not only are you with the partner statue, but a character like Spider-Man or a Batman NFT, the first ever, like those are going to hold value, and you know it's going to be a rare a rare asset in the future. So moving on to our next argument, NFTs are bad for the environment. And there are many arguments about the amount of power used to mint these NFTs and them being kind of greater than a lot of countries. Well, we kind of need to break it down because these calculations are kind of based off of like a proof of work blockchain. You pay a fee, or on the Ethereum network, you pay like a gas fee, and that's kind of paid out to these miners that verify these transactions throughout the network, essentially powering the network. Now, a lot of these NFTs are based on the idea that if you sell or bid or transfer your NFTs, you're using all of this energy to verify your transaction, and they're accounting for all of these miners running and how much effect that's going to have on the environment due to the consumption of all the power to verify these transactions or verify your ownership. Though I'm not supporting this, this is not the best way to kind of explain this, and I do understand that this is not the best way to use or use of this energy, but at the same time, you may want to consider things like using your cell phone to make a phone call, because imagine the amount of energy that it took to create all of the parts to develop that cell phone, and how much it's going to take to manufacture your mom's cell phone, and you decide that you want to call your mom. But if you're taking into account like all the energy consumed to develop these cell phones and to power the network to make the phone call, now you're kind of in the same boat where this is not very environmentally friendly because it's using a lot of energy consumption. So the easiest way to do it is you may want to cut out using that cell phone altogether and do it the old school way. You gotta walk to your parents' house if they're like 10 miles away, because you don't want to drive there, because that's not friendly for the environment as well, and the manufacturing cost to create that vehicle is not friendly as well. So yeah, you got to consider it. Everything you're using is going to consume power, but at the same time, we are very early into NFTs and this technology, so it's going to get improved on. And before you shut it out or say it's bad, you really need to look at what solutions they have in place for this. So now, I'm not saying that we should ignore this, but I'm saying it is really reflected in almost the most worst case scenario possible, right? Because not everything is on the Ethereum blockchain. This is not how every NFT operates, and there are many blockchains and layer 2 solutions that don't use like proof of work. The energy consumption is solely based off of proof of work, and I understand that this is not the best way or the best solution for it, and that is why there's things like Ethereum, which is the most popular for NFTs. They're planning on moving to a proof of stake platform. So running these video cards to get rewards or payouts is no longer going to be a thing. That power consumption is no longer going to be a thing once they move to this proof of stake network. So VeVe, if you look at VeVe strictly, they actually have already considered this ahead of time. They've been pretty ahead of the game before NFTs were even a big thing. Now, VeVe has an article on their page expressing how they are committed to being carbon neutral and that their collectibles are 99% environmentally friendly. As they move over to the Ethereum blockchain, they still maintain this by using a layer 2 solution, Immutable X, where there is actually zero gas fees. There's a lot of articles regarding IMX, how they're able to achieve this, and VeVe's Medium article you can find on their homepage, which we won't fully dive into. Knowing this, these VeVe NFTs are not some of those bad apples that can paint a bad image for the entire space, but without proper research, you often do not give these companies that are trying to advance in technology a fair chance. I know this was a giant rant with a lot of information, but I hope for anyone that was skeptical about NFTs or VeVe, it sparked something. There's so much to go over that can be discussed, and it's a never-ending conversation. The Web3 rabbit hole is endless, and a lot of this is kind of trial and error because we're so early on. If you're interested in VeVe though, there are many great YouTubers and information that you can find just by following people on Twitter and going on Twitter Spaces as well. Change is growing. There's no better time to start than now. I'll leave links to VeVe and some other things that we discussed in the description below, but please let me know if this video was helpful. Click that thumbs up and subscribe if you found it helpful. Thank you guys for tuning in. This was Crypto Addict, and we're all gonna make it.